In the late 1950s, Ferrari was a company of contradictions, magnificent on track, but stubborn in tradition. Enzo Ferrari's road cars were powerful, beautiful, and unapologetically mechanical, but their engines were almost always large V12s, heavy and front-mounted. Into this world stepped Alfredo Ferrari, known to everyone as Dino, Enzo's only legitimate son. Dino was quiet, thoughtful, and astonishingly brilliant. While Enzo built legends with bellowing V12s, Dino believed the future of racing was different. Lightweight, compact V6 engines that could sit behind the driver for better balance. This idea was radical. Some in Maranello mocked it, but Dino pressed on. In 1956, while working alongside engineer Vittorio Jano, Dino began developing a new V6 layout, short, light, and ideal for a mid-engine race car. But before the engine could be finished, Dino fell gravely ill from muscular dystrophy. He was 24. Enzo Ferrari, a man often described as hard as forged steel, spent every night at his son's bedside. Dino whispered his final instructions about the V6 project, the angles, the displacement, the firing order. He died in June 1956. Enzo would later say, "I lost my son, and with him, the joy of living." But he still had Dino's unfinished work. And he promised one thing. The engine will live. The first V6 racing engines, Dino engines, arrived in Formula 2 and Formula 1 around 1957 to 1960. They were astonishingly successful. Ferrari's mid-engine future began with Dino's blueprint. But the road car? That would take another decade. By the mid-1960s, Ferrari needed a smaller, more agile road model, something to answer both Porsche and the newly unveiled Lamborghini Miura. But Enzo refused to put the Ferrari name on anything that wasn't V12 powered. So a new badge was created. A tribute. A signature. Dino. No prancing horse. Just the name of Enzo's lost son. The first Dino road cars, the 206 GT in 1967, were promising, but limited. Ferrari needed more power. More torque, more reliability. So in 1969, the Dino 246 GT was born. This version would become legendary. True specs that made it iconic included the 2.4-liter 65 degrees V6. With 195 horsepower. A top speed, 146 mph. It went from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7 seconds. A mid-engine layout. A curved Pininfarina/Scaglietti bodywork. And a wetliner cast iron block for durability. It wasn't the loudest or fastest Ferrari-like machine. But that wasn't the point. The 246 wasn't a brute. It was a scalpel. A perfectly balanced dance partner that responded to every flick of the wheel. Enzo didn't drive most of his cars. But the Dino? He drove it privately, sometimes alone, sometimes in silence, as if revisiting memories of his son with every downshift. At first, traditional Ferrari buyers resisted it. Too small. Not enough cylinders. Not a real Ferrari. But when they drove it, everything changed. The Dino 246 could take corners like a predatory animal, smooth, fluid, and impossibly balanced. Reviewers at the time called it a masterpiece of handling. The best driving car Ferrari has ever sold. Perfectly shaped by Pininfarina's pencil and by pure necessity. In period road tests, it consistently beat higher horsepower cars on twisty circuits. It wasn't trying to dominate. It simply danced faster. Even today, many collectors and historians say the Dino 246 is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. Some say the most beautiful Ferrari, including Ferrari's own designers. Beyond its beauty, the Dino 246 introduced innovations that shaped Ferrari's future, which were 1. Mid-engine layout for road cars. Ferrari had resisted mid-engined road cars for years. The success of the Dino 246 finally convinced Enzo that this was the way forward. Without the 246, there would be number 308, 328, 348, or modern Ferraris. 2. Lightweight handling philosophy. The Dino proved that balance could outperform brute force, a philosophy later embraced in the F355 and modern V8 models. 3. True collaboration between Ferrari and Fiat. The Dino engine's production deal with Fiat helped stabilize Ferrari financially, paving the way for future racing domination. The car was more than a tribute. It was a turning point. Production of the Dino 246 ended in 1974. Enzo Ferrari passed away in 1988. But the car refuses to fade. Once dismissed as not a real Ferrari, the 246 is now among the most valuable and beloved Ferraris ever built, often bringing over $1 million at auction. Why? Because it represents something no other Ferrari carries. A father's grief. A son's genius. A piece of engineering that bridged two eras. It is beautiful not just in shape, but in spirit. Like and subscribe for more content like this.